everybody, I'm Joey Evans.
And I'm Chris Yee.
Today we are reviewing Beasts.
Right, it's a beast of a game. Actually, it's a very reasonably sized box, and it's just a deck of cards.
It is. Beautiful, beautiful cards. So that is one thing you're going to notice is the artwork on here and the finish and just the production quality that goes into it. But before we talk about all of that stuff and the gameplay, let's first see a gorgeous rendition and teach about how it's played. Okay, we are set up for Beasts right now. It is a 2 to 5 player game. It is a card shedding game where you want to get rid of all the cards in your hand and all the cards in the deck. How do you do that? First off, before we go into how you do that, and if you do that, you win. But let's go over these cards real quick. The cards are going to have 4 suits: clubs, hearts, spades, and diamonds. But there's a slight difference. For example, all of the suits also have 2 types. These are clubs here. But this is a whole club, and this is a broken club. So everything is going to have, there's going to be whole hearts and broken heart. You can tell the difference between whole clubs just look like this, and broken ones are going to have like little breaks down and things like that. Now, speaking of which, the artwork is very nice. The broken ones do have that glimmer to it, and the back as well. So the artwork on here is really, really pretty. Now, the suits are going to matter mainly for the beast, which I'm going to get to how those work in a moment. Now, everyone gets 5 cards in their hand, and when you play the cards, you have to play the higher number. For example, these are all zeros now. Take a look at my hand, and let's take a look here. I've got some clubs here. I have to play all the clubs, the entire suit. Doesn't matter if they're broken or not. So let's take a look. I've got zeros. Now, the object of this is to get at the end, get rid of all your cards, but also the higher number you get, that's going to be probably your score at the end of the game. So let's take a look here. We've got, it's not a great hand, but if I want to play these, I will play a 5. And here we go. Let's do a 5 right here. This right here is, we'll go an 8, and then a 9, just like that, because the numbers have to go up, okay? So right now, 9 is here, so any other card will have to be higher than 9, which is not possible. But now, I've done everything. I've played all the different clubs from my hand, and I will then draw back up to 5 cards into my hand. All right? Now, the next person goes ahead and looks here and take a look. All right, so let's see. We have got, that's not a good hand. Let's actually trade this out and say something better happens here. All right, so let's actually take a look at this hand. Say this was next. So right here, if you'll look, I've got to go up right over here. So tell you what, let me play diamonds. Now watch what happens. A diamond, because again, I can't play anything here. I'm going to play my diamond right here. Now this is the only diamond I have in my hand is a 2. So I take the 2 here, and now when I play one in the 10 spot, you have the option of wiping the one to the right. So I've got 2 here, so I can go ahead and get rid of this. These go away, and now that is 20. So the next person that comes around can then start playing from there. I'll take a look. Wow, that hand probably would not work very well. That is not well shuffled on that. So let's take a look at the next person here. We can play clubs here. So again, you can go back to that first one, 8 and 9. And the next time, someone will have to, they're going to go ahead and go back up to 5. And then you're going to play, if you ever play a card here, a 3, you get to wipe that. Now, when you get to a 9 on this, you're going to then start going into the hundreds. You play a 1 here, then you're able to wipe this one and that one. So that's a way to clear both. But again, remember, this can only go up to 9 because there's not anything else to clear that. So you're going to want to kind of slow roll this number, but use it mainly to clear and start wiping those out. Now, there's one other thing that comes in, and those are beasts. You're going to have 4 beasts in your deck that are going to come out after the initial hand. They look like this, all right? You're going to have 4, so every beast has got 2 for the suit. Again, they're going to have whole and broken. What happens when a beast? Well, after you play your cards, say this person's played their cards, and they have to then draw, and they draw a beast into their hand. Once you draw a beast into your hand and you notice it, you then have to put it face up in front of you. All right? It still counts towards your 5 cards, so you've got that, but then everyone else is going to see a beast is about to come out. So you're about to have to play a beast. Now you have to play everything of that suit. So if I had other clubs in my hand, I'd have to play those as well. So everyone plays through their hands. When it comes your turn, you are going to have to play clubs. Again, you can play whatever other clubs you have as well. But here's the way the beast works. The beast is going to go to the first spot, all right? He's going to be placed here. Normally, he's going to be placed at the first spot. However, a beast can be scared. Now, how is a beast scared or startled? Well, if it comes around this and this is the way the board looks, now this person has to play this beast. Played here, you can play it here because it is a club. It's the same type. It's a whole club here. So instead, that beast will then be jumped and be placed here. All right, so the beast will go there. Now, if there's clubs every single time, the beast will jump, and then go away. But as it sits here, it is placed here. Now, that means for the rest of the round, this type cannot be played in tens. So you can no longer play whole clubs in tens. Why this is important is later, you don't want all these beasts to stack here, all 4 beasts there, because then it's really going to limit what you do once. So as you have things there, you can kind of limit and move the beasts around. Maybe like whole clubs can't be here, broken hearts can't be here, and all of this goes through here. All right, so you're going to keep doing that. Eventually, you're going to have 4 beasts that come out because there are 4 in every game. Everyone's going to get rid of their cards, and this number is going to go higher and higher because every card you play has to bring your higher number out. And your object is to get rid of all the cards in the deck and in your hand. If it ever gets to the point where you cannot play a card, well, you lose. But if you played all of these, all the ones in your hand, then you're going to look at the number there, and that is your final score. For example, if you get 976, then that is your final score, and maybe next time you can try to win and get a higher score than that. Now, one other thing that I did not mention is there are these 3 discard tokens. These are community discard tokens that are put out there. At any time, you can use one of these discard tokens to discard a number card from your hand, not a beast. For example, if you know this 9 of broken hearts will never, ever benefit us, I can take one of these on my turn, get rid of it, and then discard that 9. So you have got 3 of those to kind of help you get towards, and those are usually used later in the game. Okay, and that is it. That is how to play beasts. Let's send it back and see what we thought about it. Pretty much that's not all the rules, but that's quickly how to play beasts. Beast is you played obviously more card shedding games than I have.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. It's cooperative. It doesn't follow the typical card shedding formula. It kind of is its own thing.
Right.
I like this idea that it has a very simple rule set. You can play in any of the digits, but obviously the more you play in the hundreds digit, the more constricted you're going to be for the rest of the game. So it's a simple, good premise, I think.
Yeah, you really slow roll that. I think what's interesting about this is this comes with a lot of apologies. You know, every time I play this game, people are like, so sorry, I have to do this.
No,
you know, it's like, got to play that 4 over here. We're not using the 10 spot. Well, we are now.
That's true. And it's funny because at the beginning, especially with new players, you feel so bad if you're not just playing single digits, like climbing little by little. Someone's like, I'm really sorry. I have to jump from 8 to 30, and it feels like the worst thing in the world. And you realize, no, you have a lot of wiggle room.
You do.
But if everyone feels like they have too much wiggle room, then you start getting constricted.
Right. It's just the hundreds you need to watch going up too quick.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I think what it leads to those moments where someone goes, ooh, I think I'm going to wreck the game for everyone. And you probably aren't, unless you're doing that consistently, in which case, please play better.
Yes. I think the big thing people are going to notice is the weird feeling with the suits. Because initially when you read it, you're like, oh, there are 8 suits? No, there are 4 suits, 2 types, and those mainly only matter when it comes to the beasts.
I think that, it's an oddity. I also, as much as we're complimenting, I think that the game looks really neat. I like the artwork and stuff, the gold foiling on the cards and such.
Right.
It's not the easiest thing in the world to tell the difference between the two, the broken and the whole clubs and the broken, the whole diamonds. And that doesn't really matter at the beginning, but it's kind of as you start getting through when the beasts start coming out, that's when those restrictions matter. And you really have to specify to people. You can't play broken spades here, but whole spades are fine.
I think for some reason, too, it's also one of those things, people initially want to say, oh, so the whole one is the pretty one. The one with the gold embossed. No, that's the broken one. You know, I mean, it shows the streaks in there, but that one people just tend to say that's whole. It doesn't matter, but it's just one of those that you do have to watch that type.
The other little production issue I do have is that as you draw a beast, you're supposed to immediately reveal it. And every time I've played this, every single time, somebody at the table is holding one in their hand and goes, oops, sorry guys, 2 turns ago I drew this. I was supposed to reveal it. Because it just looks like the same as all the
It
other
does.
cards. And I say somebody at the table has done it.
Could have
And
been
that
anyone.
somebody's, as half the time, been me. After, like, Joey, come on, or other person teaching, come on, like, okay, yeah, every time you draw a beast. And then 2 hands later, I was like, oh, hey guys, sorry.
I know it's a little thing, but then it's an afterthought to draw up your hand, right?
Yeah.
And then you want to focus on what's this person going to do to mess up what I just did.
Right.
So you're focused on that, and by the time it gets okay, good, shoot, there's a beast here, because it doesn't stand out like you said.
No, in Pandemic, when you're drawing those cards, I mean, it is instantly like epidemic, right?
Right.
It should look a little more different, and so I think that as pretty as the game is, some of those visuals actually do detract from the gameplay a bit.
Yeah, that's as far as the beast, how they add that variation to the gameplay. Moving them out isn't that big of a problem. Like I said before, we were like, okay, if we put a broken heart every single place, the beast won't even be anywhere here. It's not that important, I don't think. I don't think we've ever done that. But I think not having them all line up in the first spot is big. So
I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Having at least one in the game, because you play with 4 different beasts, you don't know which 4 of the 8 there will be. I think that's some neat little variety. It's not really that important. It's more situational, just based on the card draw, right? But I do like being able to shove one of them over, not letting them all stack up in that first.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And there's only 4 there in the game too. I will say people compare this to the Mind. I don't really see that comparison much, but I guess it's there. I do prefer this over the Mind, something like that.
Yeah, I agree. Someone pointed out the comparison for them is that this is a little bit more like a game called Eternal Decks. It's one I've gotten to play.
Yes.
It's not very common. It's not super out there, but it is a neat cooperative game, and similar type of card play thing. You're trying to play out cards, trying to hope other people understand what you're working towards and don't mess up the sequence, and that you can kind of complete the sequences. I think this does it in a much smaller frame, and I think that this game is also going to have a little bit more limited appeal because of how small the game kind of feels.
Right.
The end game target is shed out all of your cards. You're like, okay, got that, done, right? Also, you kind of want to have the highest number out there possible. And to me, that I feel like that's a worthy thing to aspire to, but it doesn't feel super rewarding per se.
No, that should have been a bit more tactile. I kind of equate that to write your highest score in this if you beat the game, because really it's either win or lose. That whole final score, I don't think it matters that much.
Especially because like one person can hold on to a 9 pretty easily, and multiple times I've seen the end score 953, 979, something like that, right? And so, yeah, good, right? We got like a high score, but that part doesn't. That rule, I think, needs to be there so that people don't just low roll the entire game, because you could possibly do that. It creates this little tension at the end, like, oh, let's try to get a higher score.
Yeah,
it's better served for it, but it also doesn't feel very rewarding at the same time.
Right. All right. So final thoughts. If you have nothing else to say, I can go first.
Sure.
On this one, the whole thing is, here's what gets me. The one thing I'm coming in at a 7 on this. I will say, I went back and forth when I first played it. I'm like, I fell flat. But then as you play it, I wanted to play it more and more. And I think I told Chris how I think I like the journey of this more than at the end comparing that score. I focused too much on the score. Now it's like, this is fun to see if I can get those to match. Like if you have 4, you feel powerful if you can play 4 cards, get them all out of your hand. I just shedded 4 and we didn't go up that high. That feels good. I will say it's a little bit difficult to explain when you're teaching the game. You kind of say a couple rounds, you're going to get it, right? So anyway, I'm coming in at a 7 on this. I think it's one that I think it's fun. People will enjoy it.
I'm also at a 7. I could recommend this one, but I think I also very, very easily expect a lot of people to kind of bounce off of it and say, well, where's the game? There's not enough there. And I think it's subtle. And like you said, it's more about journey than destination. I wish that end point were stronger, because I like the game as I'm playing it. I like that puzzle. I like sitting there going, I feel like I'm in a pickle. How do I get out of it? How do I kind of
Right.
get past this without, accidentally shooting up the numbers too high? And there's oftentimes some kind of clever ways to work around that. It's a neat cooperative puzzle. I wish that the end was a little bit flashier, a little bit more exciting, but I like it the whole time I'm playing it, and I'll happily continue to play it. And that's kind of why it's a 7 right there. I'm recommending it. We're giving it a seal of approval.
Yep.
But yeah, it's not. We're also aware that it has some of those flaws, and I don't think it's going to appeal to everyone.
Right, exactly. Okay, so that was the card shedding game Beasts. So check that out if you like card shedding. If you like something that's, I think it's unique.
Mhm.
So anyway, I'm Joey Evans.
And I'm Chris Yee.
We're both beasts.
Hey folks, thanks for joining us for that video. If you haven't yet, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hey, make sure you check out what's happening, where I'll cover an app on an iOS or a Switch device, and you can check it out along with me. Thanks very much. You've been watching The Dice Tower.
I'll tell you if you're right.
Nobody knows who sang that song.
It's just a rhythm of the night.
Nobody knows who sang that song. It just came for free with Windows 95, if memory serves.
Oh, did it come with the whale blowing up?
Yeah, same. It was actually the first AMV ever made was a kid just putting that song to the whale exploding video.
That'll be fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just a rhythm of the night. That's a whale blowing up. You see that? That's actually.
Yeah, that's where the term beat drops, when the beat drops.
Oh, well, I
Yeah.
did not know that.
Mhm.
The more you know.
Mhm.
It's a good sound effect.